This topic has a very near and dear place in my heart. It was the first topic that I ever covered for a YouTube video, and we're going to revisit it with a slightly different spin because this is a simple yet very disastrous topic and area for market traders if they're not aware of it. Hey, it's Clay Trader at claytrader.com. As I said in the introduction, I've actually covered this video before, but I want to now approach it with a little bit different spin. And a total shout out goes to you YouTube people, as I got a comment on this, and it was one of those things where, wow, that's actually summarizes this perfectly. Why didn't I think of that the first time? So I want to revisit it. But before we go any further, let's start things off with the question. So my question to you is, if your position price, so position, that could be a stock, it could be a bond, it could be an option, it could be anything. This is just math here, but if you're in a position and the price drops 50%, so you lose half of its value, the price then needs to rise by 50% in order to hit break even. So your position has lost half its value, now it needs to go back up that same value 50%. So is this true or is this false? And be honest. So again, your position price drops by 50%. In order to get back up to break even, it needs to then rise by 50%. Well, let's take a look at this. So here is going to represent the trade. And just to make the math easy, let's say that you bought in at $10. Not trying to insult anybody's intelligence, but a 50% drop, so 50% here, is going to make that value half of 10, right? So there's 5. Again, I don't want to insult anybody's intelligence, but actually just really shows how tricky this all can be. So the premise, okay, well now it needs to rise by 50% in order to get back up to break even, which would be 10. Obviously you got in at 10, so that's your break even point. So let's go through the math on the flip side. It needs to rise by 10, or if it rises by 50%. Uh-oh, wait a second. Well, when 5, what's 50% of 5 when it rises back upwards? $7.50. And this is a 50% rise. However, what has changed in the math here? Well, now we're taking our base point from here. So a 50% increase only gets you to $7.50. In other words, you still got another chunk of this triangle to go, or not triangle, this rectangle to go before you're back to break even. Again, 10 to 5 is a 50% drop. But if it rises by 50%, you're not at break even, you're only halfway there. You're only at 750 because in order to get to break even, the actual move needs to be what? It needs to move up 100%. So a 50% drop, in order to compensate for it, you then need the price to go 100% in your favor. A lot of people are not aware of this math, and it can get you in trouble in a hurry, especially if you start averaging down. And averaging down, a lot of people don't realize this math is working against you. So, people out there that are advising just keep averaging down, or any sort of strategy that just says just keep averaging down, keep averaging down, this math is totally working against you. The further in the hole you go, you're literally, mathematics, this is not my opinion. This is how the math works. It's getting more and more difficult to go out of the hole. So again, that's all I have to say, but just to summarize it, like I said, very simple, but it's not simple, and that's why it's tricky. 10 to 5 is a 50% drop. So a lot of people, and if I were to look at that question, I'd say, yeah, it drops 50%, it needs to go up 50%, and you're at break even. But when you base it off of the numbers, well, from 5, what is 50% going upwards? Well, that only gets you to $7.50, and you want to get up to 10 to be break even. So be aware of this math as you're trading. And if you've ever wondered, man, this averaging down, it always seems so much more difficult to get back up to where I need to be. Well, that's because the math is actually working against you. So definitely keep that in mind as you go out there and implement your trade systems and trade strategies. If any other questions on this topic, please leave those comments below. If you want to see the very first video I did on this, I call it the math trap. You can click on the link that's popping up on your screen right now, and you can go back. Like I said, that was the very first video I ever did for YouTube in terms of me getting in front of the chalkboard, because it is such a powerful concept, and one that it's almost so obvious that it hides right in front of you, because it seems obvious, but it's just not. Again, leave any comments, questions below. Also, click the like button. If you're watching this on my site, please click the share button. Little things like that, little clicks of the mouse go a long way. Thanks for watching. Get out there and trade without emotion.